Hey guys, welcome to the round 16 team list analysis. I'm going to be starting off with the Eels and the Rabbitohs. A few good things with these team lists. A couple of people are back, but then a bunch of people out. So take the good in the bad. Hopefully you fell on the good side of things. But with guys running out of trades, I know that guys like Lolo being out, Appy Coruscant, things like that, it's going to be a bit tough. And if you do have a few trades left and can use them now, this is when you're going to make up a fair few ranks. So let's go through. Eels have got no changes to their side. Lucky for them, they're one of the only teams without a lot of big injuries at the moment there. And then we've got Dane Gagai coming back. Masters goes out after his try-scoring debut. Corey Allen comes in for Johnson, who is injured. And then, yeah, that's going to be it for the guys there, except the only thing I'll say is that Sirenen is still starting, but Liam Knight comes back onto the bench. So can expect him to lose some minutes this week if you're someone like myself that needs to play him this week. Moving on to the Dragons Titans. In that one there, we've just got Vaughan, who is out, suspended. For anyone that might have him, but I doubt anyone does. And then on the other side, Tyrone Peachey comes into the 13 role for Mo Fotuaika. He's going to be out for a week there, Mofo. Which is annoying, but what can you do? The crusher penalties at the moment are getting a few of the players, so I wouldn't be trying to bring in Peachy. I know he'll probably score well this week, but he had a bunch of really good games there and then got moved to the bench for a bunch of weeks and didn't score very well, so someone I'd stay away from. Bo Firma is starting, so if you've got him, then he should score fairly well this week with Hipgrave going back to the bench. Mitch Rain comes into the number 9 for Nathan Peets. In all thoughts there. Wallace did okay. I know a bunch of people brought him in this week, and Jamal Fogarty is absolutely killing it. So if you brought him in earlier in the year, then you've done really well there. On the other side there, Aitken and Lomax still doing really well. Ben Hunt sticking in the 9 jersey. So him and McInnes are both really good options. Looks like this should be the lineup for the rest of the year. Obviously pending injuries, this is the one that's doing the best for him. So both really good options. Just have a look at the price difference, but they're scoring a very similar amount at the moment. So keep that in mind for those. I've had a few questions about them too, who to bring in. So there you go. On the Roosters side of things, Cordner and Daniel Tupou are both back, but really is not much of a thought here as to, no one really has many of these players. The Morris boys are killing it. That's about all there. Kyle Flanagan's still on the team for the people that have him, but the rest is fairly irrelevant on the Roosters side. And on the Broncos side, Milford is out. O'Sullivan comes in, so he's a little interesting option there for people, but probably not going to be worth it. And then Corey Pakes is starting this week with Isaac Luke out, so should score well if you need him in your squad. In the next game, we've got Chanel. Harris Tavita is back in the number 7 jersey. Cody Nicarima is playing really well, actually. Crazy how well they've been going, the Warriors, with everything that's happened to them this year. They've been really incredible, actually, I'll say myself. And Eli Katoa is back, which doesn't change too much with the Isaiah Papali coming out of there. Jazz Tavanga and Tohu Harris both scoring really well and both great options for your sides. Jack Murchie, let's see how he goes off the bench again this week. All right, on to the night side. Mason Lino comes into the number 6 jersey, which is not good for those that have Chris Randall because it means he stays out and Crossland stays on the bench. So great if you're a Kurt Mann owner as well. He gets to stick in that number 9 jersey, which is great. The only thing to think of with Mason Lino is that Kalen Ponga loses his kicking duties because Mason Lino is a much better kicker. Ponga's really been struggling, especially in the last month or so. His season average is at just over 60%, which is just not good enough. Had a bunch of absolute shockers on the weekend, so let's just hope he scores in a multitude of other ways, those points. But yeah, as I said, Randall owners, you've missed out, unfortunately, which is myself. Mitch Barnett has been a very sneaky pod option, playing really high minutes, and there's no one really on the bench that's going to be stealing his minutes. He's doing a good job in there. He runs the ball hard, just works hard, and he's been good for a few years for the Knights there. So he's a sneaky pod pick, and he's only going up in price. So if you want to get him, now's the time. Moving along to the Sharks Cowboys. We've got Connor Tracy coming in from Matt Moylan. They've dropped him after some lackluster performances, and Johnson comes back in to his normal position, and hopefully they can play a lot better. Of course, they get him back for against my Cowboys, but God, they've been terrible. Anyway, Britton Nakora comes in for Talakai, who's actually been scoring fairly well, but he goes to the bench for that game. And in the Cowboys side of things, Val Holmes comes back in, and the Hamiso is out of the side, which is not great for myself, again, who I was trying not to trade as much this week. Only one trade, but I'm probably going to have to do two to get a full 17 on the park. Bit annoying, but what can you do? And Dejan Arce, if I'm saying that correctly, is back in the number 6 jersey for Hampton, and I'm happy with that. Give him some time over the last 5 rounds to get good, and hopefully he can partner Morgan next year if he's great, because he did have a great first game. Taumalolo is out in the biggest news for the Cowboys, so it looks like about 4 weeks for him with the calf injury, which will basically see him out for the year. So unfortunate for those people that have him, but if you've got trades, you definitely got to trade him out at 810k. You can almost trade to anyone of note, which is very interesting. I had a look and saw where James Tedesco is. He's sitting at like 670k, which is incredible. So a massive discount for him at the moment. If you're interested in or need a fullback, he is the man at that price. All right, moving along. Panthers and the Tigers side of things. Api Koroisau is out. Seems like it should just be 1 week, maybe 2. They said they'll make a call on him early next week. Obviously around team list time, I'd imagine. Monday or Tuesday. Kikau is also out this week, which means they've done a little bit of shuffle, which is annoying for players, coaches with Isaiah Yeo, because he's been moved to the second row, with Moses Leota coming into the starting side and Fish Harris going to the 13 role. We'll see if that changes Yeo at all, because last time he got moved to the second row, he still did play in the middle. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Maybe he moves back to the middle when Fisher Harris gets a rest, but we'll see if that's the case. I'd imagine that would be how it would work. And Brian To'o is back this week, so just a small change there for those guys. On the other side, Twal is back in the starting side. Will he play 80 minutes? That's the big question. I know there's not a lot of great front rowers around. If you're someone with Mo Fodawaker and you've, like myself, and worked out that, with Payne Haas there as well, you're missing out on your front row depth. I don't have Carrigan to switch in because he's already in the front row. Then Twal's probably the only option, even like a David Clemmer or something like that. But I think Twal will be better. If he can stay on the park for the last 5 weeks, he should score better than Clemmer. And he's at like 735k, so a nice discount there. But yeah, something to think about with him. And then Harry Grant is back in the side, so only a few weeks off. For anyone who kept him, I doubt many did. But yeah, he's going to be back, and Jacob Little goes to the bench. In the next game, all the cavalry's back for the Storm. So Smith's back, that's Cameron, that is. And Brandon Smith goes out with a broken jaw, unfortunately. Jerome Hughes comes back into the squad, and so does Munster. So good luck to the Sea Eagles this week. They get all the guys back, and I imagine they'll get hammered, just like the South smashed them this week. But yeah, there you go. Tino moves to the bench from the starting side, and you actually see Nelson in the number 13 jersey, which is interesting. If he actually is going to start there, but he may do. And Tom Eisenhuth comes in for Kenny Bromwich, who's actually injured as well. So in playing an interesting bench this way, they got a Darren Schonig comes on. They've got Shandor Earl and Nico Hines, so two utility plays in there. So the forwards should play big minutes, which will be interesting there. And on the other side, Funa moves to fullback. Sully is out for the rest of the season, and Yosefsky comes into that centre role. Luke Thompson's back as well, so a few changes for them, but yeah, they're almost at full strength without Tommy Trobb, and they're getting absolutely hammered. So yeah, it's been an interesting one for them. And to the last game, Corey Harawira-Naera is out, so interesting. He's only had a few games stint for them, and he's been sent packing. And Papali, Dunamis Louis, and Hudson Young will come back into the starting side in their only real change. Tom Starling playing amazingly well. Scored a try on the weekend. Did a really good job. On the dog side, really not much to talk about. There's not many people here that have any dogs players other than someone like Fatala Mariner. They've been playing a little bit better, but they've made a shitload of changes this week. Montoya's back. Dallin's back. Lockie Lewis is back. Luke Thompson is out. So for those who brought him in, he's out this week, so they've dropped him. Matt Dury moves to the bench. Josh Jackson back to second row. Tolman goes to 13. So a bunch of changes, but a lot of it doesn't really mean too much unless you had someone like brought in Dury this week or you had Luke Thompson. So there you go, guys. There's the team list for the week. Let me know what trades you're thinking of making, if you've got any trades left. Give me an idea in the comments. And if I'm enjoying all those comments, please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and get subscribing, guys. We're trying to make this channel as big as possible, and it's going to be bigger and better next year. Really enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the trade-in targets video. See you soon.